Well, hello everybody. Today is Saturday, April 11th, and the question is, what am I going to do? Well, the thing is that I didn't really make any plans for the weekend. But then I just realized that I've been living in Rotterdam for 3 years, and despite that, I still know nothing about the city. I mean, there are certain locations that I go to from time to time, but I haven't really explored the city that much. So today then, I decided to go to a place called Kinderdijk windmills, which is supposed to be a beautiful Dutch scenery with windmills, maybe some waters. I don't know, from the pictures I see that there's some kind of free response, whatever. Yes. So yeah, I'm going to that place. It's about 10 kilometers away from my place, and I see that getting there by transport is possible, but I would like to challenge myself. And speaking of challenge, today I'm gonna use my Fuji X-T4. So the Nikon is staying at home. It's somewhere there in one of the shelves. And I'm taking the APS-C X-T4. It's a beautiful camera, and I just felt like yesterday I want to use a camera like Fuji. Why? Well, because I can. I have 2 cameras, so it's always nice to have some choice. And I'm planning to use it primarily with the Viltrox 1.4, which is roughly 35mm in full frame equivalent, which, if you ask me, probably is one of my favorite focal lens. And I'll be talking about that during the video, hopefully, about what focal lens I like, why I don't like a certain focal length as well. So that's in my plans, if I have time and I don't forget about that. And yeah, but this thing is not the only thing I'm taking with me anyways, because as I told you previously, I like to physically challenge myself, and I also like this choice of focal lens. That's why together with the 1.4, I'm also taking this little plastic fantastic. Yeah, it doesn't really look like a physical challenge because it weighs almost the same as my phone. But it's the Sigma 10 to 18, I keep forgetting the focal length. 10 to 18 f2.8. It's a super light lens, a super wide angle lens, and I just like having a super wide angle for just in case, especially if it's as light and doesn't really take up any space in my backpack. And well, probably from the previous video, you will have learned that I really like log focal lens. And for this reason, I'm taking this just beastie lens. It's the 50-140 f2.8. And if you ask me, probably it's the best telelens I have used in terms of image quality and handling. I do have the 70-200 on the Nikon. I used to have the 80-200. Those are fabulous, great lenses, but this one is something special when it comes to sharpness, and I just don't know how to explain it. So this lens is, well, probably the best purchase for my Fuji set. And this lens will travel with me because, again, it weighs almost nothing, especially compared to the 70-200. And by the way, yes, when people complain about this one being chunky and heavy, oh guys, try to use the Nikkor 80-200. Any version will show you what a truly chunky lens is. This one is a baby. Yeah. So this is the set that I'm going to use today. But as I said, I'll try to primarily stick to the 23mm because I just want to creatively constrain myself and see what I can do with a fixed focal length and just with my imagination and sense of beauty, if you want to call it. So yeah, the introduction was quite long, but I hope that you haven't fallen asleep. Without further ado, let's get started. Hello, hello. we are on the way, not that far into it. Yes, and here it's actually quite an interesting, beautiful scenery. I kind of don't like this thing here, but the house itself is really beautiful, and there is a doggy sitting there, and actually I think he's looking at me, or she's looking at me. But here, the funny thing is, if you look at this road, what do you not notice? Precisely, there's no pavement. And it is quite a common thing in the Netherlands that you will certainly have a cycling lane, but, wait a second, but it's very likely that you'll not have a pavement. Why? Well, because the Netherlands is a country of cyclists, and people here are considered to be less important. Yes. Oh, another beautiful view. Yeah. Fabulous. As you can see, the weather today is flat, the light is flat, there is no sun, the wind is moderate. Yeah, but it's still quite shootable, because in this weather you can focus on tiny details, on textures, on objects. Yeah, of course, you will not probably shoot an award-winning landscape, but is this really the goal? Oh, I don't know. Oh, actually, just look at it. Here, I think the view is quite beautiful. Yeah, probably I'll deviate and go there, because it does look promising. But before I go there, I wanted to explain why I decided to stick to the 23 aka 35mm lens. And there's quite a reason, because you know, online there is a huge debate about which focal length approximates the human field of view the best. Some people say 50mm, some people say 40, some people will even claim that it's 85. And my take would be 35, and I can explain why. Because when you are using your eyes, your field of view is actually quite wide. I wouldn't say that it's 50, because 50 is too constraining, and it's a little bit wider than 35. But there's something that I call the active field of view, because when you're looking at something, you are focusing on a particular object, and there's some kind of like vision area that your eye is drawn to. And in my case, the 35mm lens is something that approximates it really well. And for example, if I see some nice scenery and I want to take a picture of it, I can compose it with my eyes, then take my camera, and with the 35mm lens, I will get something that is really, really similar to what I had composed with my eyes. Again, that's just my personal experience. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but this is the reason why I'm really drawn to the 35mm focal length. Oh, and I see a potential keeper. That is the beauty of traveling when you don't really have a plan where you want to travel. Just look at this canal. Oh, it looks like a canal. Yeah, there are many beautiful things around. There are also ponies there. I just didn't risk taking pictures of ponies. They should be somewhere here. Yes, you see them. Yeah, really, really beautiful place. But it's such an irony that I spent some time talking about how much I like the 35mm, and then what did I do? Right, I switched to my telelens, because here there are so many interesting details that I wanted to focus on with a telelens. But I still used the 35mm for quite a few pictures. Yeah, I'm not sure whether they are keepers, but yeah, as I said previously, For me, walking and taking pictures is just a process in itself. And if I happen to have nice pictures, well, I'm really lucky. If all the pictures are crap, oh, that's not the day then. Yeah. Oh, just look at it. It's actually quite beautiful. Yes. If you're into photography, which I assume you are, because you're watching this video, among the very few people who do that, you'll probably know that there is a fierce debate between users of Fuji and all the rest. Or you can also divide them into APS-C shooters and full-frame shooters. And I think that I can make a slight contribution to this debate because I own both a Nikon and a Fuji, and today I'm shooting with my Fuji. And if you ask me which camera is the best, I'll probably struggle giving a certain answer. Because on the one hand, the Nikon, especially things like the Z7, they are incredible cameras with just infinite dynamic range, with raw files that you can change the way you want. You don't have to really care about whether your picture is slightly underexposed or slightly overexposed, and sometimes the word slightly can be sacrificed and you can underexpose by like 1-2 stops. With lights as well, there is quite a big margin of error that you can allow. But now, why am I shooting with a Fuji today? Oh, because indeed sometimes you want to have a slightly different experience, and that's what Fuji cameras offer. In my case, at least. Yeah, they're really tactile. It's a pleasure to just hold the Fuji camera in your hand. They have some fabulous optics as well. As I said, I really like the 50 to 140, and well, I have again mounted it on my camera because I saw some beautiful view. I'll probably attach it somewhere in the video. Yeah, it's just a beautiful camera to handle. It does have its own limitations, and in no way would I agree that Fuji sensors are as good as full-frame sensors when it comes to low-light performance, because on my Fuji I can shoot with ISOs up to 1600, and when I'm setting 1600 I'm already a little bit unsure whether I should really do that. Below that, they are just perfectly usable, yes. And the dynamic range on the X-T4 at the base ISO is more than enough for landscape photography, especially if you're not going to print it like, I don't know, 5 meters by 5 meters, or something of this kind. Yes. But the thing that really matters for me is that a full-frame camera. Oh, there's a really big nasty thing flying around. I hope it doesn't bite. Yes, the thing that matters for me with a full-frame camera is that it allows for a shallow depth of field. And that's, I really like playing with the depth of field. I like shooting, if not wide open, and at really open apertures like f2, f2.8, f1.8. Especially with the telelens, that's crucial. And due to physics, I'm afraid the 50 to 140 f2.8 doesn't give you precisely the same effect as if you were shooting with the 70 to 200 f2.8. Yeah, because for that you would pretty much need a zoom lens which is like 1.8. I know that there are some crazy lenses by Sigma that can do that, but they are quite exotic and rare. But yeah, sometimes when I really feel that I need to benefit from this shallow depth of field, I will go for full frame. If I'm expecting myself to shoot a lot in low light conditions, I'm going to shoot full frame. But as a daily camera, as a camera that is always in my backpack, the X-T4 is an amazing piece of gear. When I bought my Z7, I was thinking about selling all my Fuji gear, but I simply couldn't force myself to do that. And probably now I'm coming to understanding why. Because I just want to have this diversity, because I want to have a camera that is always there, that doesn't weigh much, that doesn't take a lot of space in my backpack so that I can carry it every day. I want to have this tactile feeling that is offered by Fuji cameras with all those dials, this old style look. But I also need to have a camera that has no compromises in it, and that's where the Z7 comes in really handy. Yeah, that's just, oh, it's been 5 minutes me recording that. But yeah, just thoughts out loud. As expected, the weather is terrible. Actually, I wouldn't say it's super terrible, it's just drizzling. But yeah, welcome to the Netherlands. I keep repeating that. But here, never mess around with the weather. And always take a waterproof jacket, which I did. But unfortunately, the Pocket 3 is not waterproof. For this reason, it's just a small update on what I have done so far. Actually, I don't think I can go there. Yeah. So I have walked several kilometers, and the scenery is surprisingly beautiful. I think I shot quite some nice pictures on the way. And I also got stopped by a local resident asking me, what are you doing here? But then he turned out to be a nice dude, and he didn't have anything against me taking pictures. Rather, he thought that I was a government worker who had come to the place to select trees to be removed from their garden, because there's apparently some issue with the trees. Yes, but so far so good. I'm actually not sure whether I'll reach the windmills today, because the guy said it's quite a long walk, around 2 hours from here, and the time is already 4:30. So in the luckiest scenario, I'll get there by 6. And I don't know whether there will be anything to shoot with the current light conditions. But again, let's take it more as a hiking challenge and do some beautiful photography on the go. I think there are quite some nice places that we can shoot. Phew, just look at what I have found. Lambs. Oh my god. Poor lambs have to survive those sounds on a daily basis. Yeah, there are many things forbidden in the Netherlands, but motorbikes. And just look at this bucolic environment. It looks really nice. I wish the light were better, because otherwise it just looks like a really nice landscape, cityscape, whatever. Yeah. So I still have about 40 minutes to go, and I think by the time I get there, the light will be completely gone. It's not that we had light around, but I mean, it'll be dark. Yes. But at least I will be able to investigate the place and see whether it's worth coming back and shooting. And yeah, I have been enjoying the walk so far, so it's not a complete waste of time. But I'm getting kind of cold because the wind is getting stronger. Perhaps next time I need to check the route on the map more carefully, because I didn't really expect that I would have to take a ferry to the other side of whatever, Rotterdam. It's not really Rotterdam, yeah, but it looks kind of cool. Yes, windy, and I think, well, I don't know what I got myself into. The good thing is that the ferry is super cheap, it's less than €1.95. So yeah, just admire the views. It's starting. In case anyone was wondering, here are the prices. I don't really understand what is meant by car, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Apparently it's the count per the number of people in the car, but I'm not sure. Well, I kind of expected the thing to be a tiny bit bigger. Okay, that's not the real one. The real one is a 10-minute walk that way. We're almost there. And I must admit, for some reason, I'm feeling somewhat tired today. I don't know, maybe because of the wind, the rain, and I don't know, it's just, yeah, it felt like a really long walk. I crossed several towns. Right, I have around 18 minutes to just go there, have a look, and then go back, because I don't want to walk the way back. Yeah. Okay, so we're somewhere here, on the other side. You see, this thing is recognized as UNESCO heritage. And I don't really see the windmills. I see people, tourists, cars, but no windmills. Here they are, here they are. Well, there. Yes, okay, I'll try to walk, but already from here, I see that in this light, I will not be able to shoot anything decent. So yeah, let me just have a quick walk there, do some investigation, but for that I definitely need a tele. Okay, here we are. Very beautiful view, sorry for digital zoom. I've also done some close-ups with the Fuji. Not sure whether they're stable enough, but I will try to attach them anyways. So that's a wonderful view, but the weather is not good. I'm tired and I want to go back. But definitely this place is worth visiting a second time. Probably I'll get here on a sunnier day. And for this, I might actually take my Nikon, because I kind of see a potential for the super tele lens. This one is good, but I don't think that it's viable to make anything decent with what I have now. Yeah, all the conditions are going against me. Okay, a nice place. Well, hello from the future. I just realized that yesterday I forgot to record two things. First, an explanation of a focal length that I personally don't like, and the goodbye part. So let's start with the first one. As you see today, the weather is somewhat better, so probably I should have gone to Kinderdijk today instead of yesterday, but never mind. Okay, the focal length that I personally don't like is 50mm. Why 50mm? Well, because I think that it's somewhat too constraining. It's neither long nor short. It just doesn't really offer that feeling that I would like to have if I am constrained to a certain focal length. 50mm is a nice lens for quick and dirty portraits, maybe for some street photography, but personally, I never found it really inspiring. Instead, if you compare it to 35, where, as I said previously, what I see through the lens is actually quite similar to what I see with my eyes when I try to focus my eyes on something. I think that that's where the 35 really wins. But 50 is a nice lens, probably, for some people. I personally have 50mm equivalent on my Fuji, the Viltrox 33 1.4, and 51.8 on the Nikon. But looking retrospectively, I think those are my least used lenses of all time. It's nice to have them, but yeah, I just don't use them, that's it. And on this positive note, well, I'll have to conclude the video one day later, but thanks for staying with me, and thanks for your views, for your activity. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. I actually think today I've been editing the pictures and I noticed that some of them are quite good. Some, not all. But yeah, so I hope that you'll share the same opinion. If you don't, please tell me why you don't share the opinion. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks.